There's plenty of excitement and also apprehension at the prospect of New South Wales opening up after more than 100 days of lockdown. But experts are warning a filled social calendar won't be easy for everyone, and some may be experiencing re-entry anxiety. Joining us now is New South Wales Health's Chief Psychiatrist, Dr. Murray Wright. Dr. Wright, thank you. Can we start by explaining what exactly is re-entry anxiety?
Yes, Gemma. Look, I think it's really a good descriptive term for, I think, what will be a range of different feelings that most people are experiencing. Of course, most of us are very focused on a sense of excitement about the things that we're going to be able to do over the coming weeks and months that we've had to put to one side for so long. But for many, many people, there is going to be some level of apprehension about some aspects of that. And that could be on the basis of a concern about exposure to the virus, or it could even be about a concern about whether they're going to manage to reacquaint themselves with some of the activities and some of the social connections that they've had to disrupt because of the pandemic. So it's really a catch-all for the many different mixed experiences and feelings that people are going to go through over the next few months. The important message from our perspective is that this whole process of emerging from the pandemic is something which is it's a journey which has many twists and turns. And just as much from an emotional level as it does from the level of the virus or even the economic effect.
How do we detect this early? What does it feel like?
Well, I think most of us have become a little bit more tuned into how we cope with stress by necessity over the last 18 months. And that's actually a really important part of managing stress, even in pre-pandemic times. So that regular behaviour of just monitoring how you're going, looking at whether you're getting enough sleep, whether you're getting enough exercise, are you actually getting to do the things that you have set out to do each day? Are you able to concentrate? Are you tuning in at work? And those sorts of things. Or are you feeling a level of excessive tiredness and fatigue at the end of the day? If any of those self-monitoring kind of signals come up that things are not going well, then that's a sign that maybe the stress of the situation is affecting you, and then you can do other things such as seek advice from your GP or a counsellor.
Yeah, because I mean, a little bit of anxiety is okay and it's normal. So it's at that point when you notice those symptoms, for example, that you do need to reach out to your GP, for example.
Anxiety is 100% normal. Anyone who doesn't feel a sense of anxiety about picking up some of the activities and the habits that we've not been able to do for the past few months probably isn't paying very much attention. It's absolutely normal. And so it's really when those feelings of anxiety get in the way of doing what we want to do, or they persist long after the activity's gone, that's when you need to get some assistance with it.
What about workplaces? How can they accommodate staff who might be feeling this way?
Yes, I think that's a really important area for us to consider, because I think that everyone has gotten very used to working remotely. In many instances, work has been suspended and people haven't been able to work at all. So I think it should be a given that every organisation and every workplace is going to have challenges in returning to the new normal. And my advice, both to the workers and to the employers, is to make a discussion about how people are managing that transition back to work, put it in the forefront. It should be a conversation at the planning stage. It should be a regular conversation as people are transitioning back to work. And I think it's best if the return to the workplace can be managed by degrees. Any kind of anxiety that people are experiencing is easier to manage if you have small, manageable steps along the way. And I know that's not possible in all workplaces, but I think the conversation about what are your concerns about the return to work, how can we help you return to work, becomes incredibly helpful and supportive. I think also we have to be really clear that aside from the impact on the workplace and the return to work, the pandemic has taken a toll on everybody in all sorts of different ways. So many people are feeling burnt out, not necessarily because of the impact on their work, but for other reasons, whether there's been an economic toll, whether the challenges of working from home and homeschooling at the same time, or whether it's the disruption to social connections. These things are also going to have an impact when a person returns to work. So employers should appreciate that their employees are carrying some level of stress and emotional baggage as a result of what they've been through during the pandemic. And taking a long course and providing adequate supports and opportunities to talk for employees, I think will go a very long way to helping people to return to the workplace.
New South Wales Health's Chief Psychiatrist, Dr. Murray Wright, thanks for your time.
Thank you for inviting me.
And if you need information or support, you can contact Beyond Blue on 1300 22 4636. Or if you or someone you know is experiencing distress, please contact Lifeline on 13 11 14.